Amazon's recently made some changes to sponsored brands and the way match types work, and this could potentially cost you a lot of money if you're not careful. I'm Brandon from KickstartPPC, and we're going to show you exactly what's happened and what you need to do about it. Now, the reason this is so important is it actually manipulates what the match types are and potentially broadens your targets. Anytime something like that happens, it can potentially cost you money if you're not careful. So we're going to show you exactly what's going on, give you an idea what you can do about it, how you can kind of protect your spend from going to wasted terms. So this is the actual Amazon website. I've pulled all the information here so I can show you this is where I'm getting my information from. Now, to actually go on to the presentation, now let's get into the details. What's happened here is you have, for example, phrase match. Phrase match goes into this particular section where if you typically put the word curtain rods, it would have to be curtain rods for home, curtain rods that look nice in my living room. For example, it needs to have curtain rods in that order, in that phrase. Now, Amazon is now changing that. It's going to be about intent, and it's going to be about what the motive of the customer is. So if you say search curtain rods, a customer query could be pull for curtains for bedroom. That's definitely not a phrase match. That's taken out of context what you originally put down as a phrase and potentially gone for something. Now, this keyword, curtain rods, it does match up with that. That's correct. But as you know, with Amazon, things aren't always as clear cut as that. They're going to use a pretty good example for this when it comes to what they're showing. But in reality, when you go through your search and reports, you're probably going to find things that aren't as relevant. You're basically relying on Amazon to make that choice for you, what it determines as relevant, and that could potentially cause some problems. Just like it did for broad match. Before, when we were targeting broad matches, they were okay, but when they started targeting substitutes, that's when we kind of went for that modified broad as a default. Right now, we don't run standard broads. They don't typically work, and that's the last thing we want for phrase match. Unfortunately, it seems that phrase match is being broadened out a bit more, and we do have to deal with it. We have to find solutions on how to protect our spend. We don't want to be going after bad keywords after all. So here's the impacts. You're going to have ads showing up on things that have intent and meaning rather than the exact words are plural. So just like I said, it's not going to be the exact word in some cases, even if you have phrase match. Negatives are going to be a lot more important. So if you don't have negatives or you don't run many at the moment, I think you need to be starting to look at this in more detail. Checking your search and reports, making sure your phrase matches aren't generating terms that aren't relevant. There's a chance that it could happen. Potentially they could work okay, but we are seeing in some search and reports where this is actually happening. Some of the things haven't been correct. Some of them are, but you need to be checking your own account and making sure you're up to date. And PPC strategy, the thing that you've been doing for how many years, if you've been running phrase and exact as your priority, that might not be the case anymore where it works. So you need to check that over, check over your keywords, make sure that your targets are rock solid, and make sure you're not going after the wrong stuff. Now, what can you do about it? You need to be checking search and reports, make sure you're targeting the right things. Things that are relevant for your product. You don't want to be targeting things that say are half relevant, things that are, could be relevant but aren't. That's going to improve. That's going to make your click-through rate go down and your conversion rate, and potentially put the ACoS of your accounts up. Amazon wants to make money, but that's sometimes going to come at a cost for you. So you need to make sure that you're on top of this. So Amazon, they're not just taking advantage of you. You are making as much money as possible. Now, negative keywords, you can use a tool such as Scale Insights for this. Build up your master negative keyword list, apply it in the blacklist rule in Scale Insights. And if you are interested in Scale Insights, we have a 10% off lifetime discount at the link in the description with a 30-day free trial without need for a credit card. So check it out if you do want to optimize your negatives. It'll be particularly helpful when it comes to applying across the board to different products. So check that out if you're interested. But you absolutely don't want to forget negatives. So make sure you get that on track. You also want to get familiar with Amazon updates. You can subscribe to the channel if you want to. We upload lots of content about Scale Insights, Amazon PPC, and any updates we see that are important. So you can follow us that way, but there's a lot of other information out there. So if you are staying up to date, watching YouTube, watching LinkedIn posts, you're going to stay up to date with everything Amazon PPC. You can also work with an agency like ourselves, KickstartPPC.com. Rather than have to keep up to date with everything Amazon PPC, you can leave it to us. We'll do it all for you and make sure your account's all up to date. That's the beauty if you're working with an agency. You don't have to manage that aspect of the business. You can focus on growing the business and other tasks that you think are the most important and leave the rest to us so you can focus on growing. We hope you enjoyed the video and hopefully it allows you to save some money when it comes to the new changes on sponsored brand campaigns. If you need help, of course, don't hesitate to contact us, KickstartPPC.com. Schedule a call with us below. We'll see how we can help you out and audit your account as well. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and we'll, of course, see you next week. Have a good one. Bye.